You don't have to think of social media or even tech or Argentina. You don't have to think of Asia. You have to think of tulip mania in the 17th century. Ali might just about remember that. 300 or 400% increases in the price of tulips that all ended in tears. And yes, in Asia there was investment, and in Argentina there was investment, and in tech there was investment. It was 250 odd days from IPO to bust for Pet.com. I don't say this is going to happen immediately, but if anybody believes that LinkedIn, Facebook, Groupon and the like won't eventually see some tears, then they are deceiving themselves and others.
Richard, you make some good points, but I'm going to take the other side of this. Give me 60 seconds. There is no question that these companies are overvalued. LinkedIn shares surged 109% in their first day, valuing the company at nearly 550 times its 2010 profits. That certainly takes us back to the tech boom, Richard, but this is just the beginning. You mentioned Groupon, Zynga, Facebook. All of those may go public with even bigger valuations than LinkedIn. Does that necessarily mean we're in a bubble? And if it does it mean it's going to end badly? We're only talking about a handful of companies, Richard, and unlike the tech boom in the past, these are real businesses. Sure, LinkedIn only did about $250 million in revenue last year, but you'll recall, Richard, that's a far cry from the 90s when companies with no revenues, just a .com on the end of their name, would go public before even bringing in a dime of revenue. In fact, the whole internet landscape, Richard, think back to the 90s. Most of us were still using dial-up. Today, we don't even do this particular Q&A segment until we tweet out for topics. So I think this is real. There might be some tears, but it's real.
You are confusing the old path to profitability with projected sales, and once again you'll be the first person, Ali, the first person to be commenting on this bubble when it finally blows up in our faces. Let's go to the voice.
Good thing we're recording this so we can play it back.
Once they were historical artifacts, now they are back in business. One group of flyers found with a bit of creativity, even old World War II planes can be put to new uses. Felicia Taylor went to meet the skytypers.
Left, right, left.
You know, I started at a very young age flying aircraft, as a lot of these guys did. A lot of us are former military aviators as well as professional airline pilots. And we do it because we have a passion for these airplanes. We have a passion for getting in front of the crowd and showing them what we can do.
In my day job, I do marketing with a major pharma company. I was a pilot before, and we actually did some sponsorship work with them. And the joke with the team is they lost the sponsorship, but they kept the marketing guy.
I retired in 2006, and I either had to do this or get a job.
It's the camaraderie, the fun, and where else can you fly military airplanes in tight formations, and we're going to show you.
All right, boys, let's go flying.
But that choice suddenly came with a reality check.
This is a parachute that you will be sitting on.
We got on board these planes that served their country 70 years ago.
My dad actually started it when I was pretty young. I was about 19 years old at the time. And it started as a skytyping business. It was an advertising business where we put these giant messages in the sky.
Right.
And later on, as we kept working in the skytyping business, he actually moved into a little bit of the air show business to kind of offset the advertising business. In this thing, you had what they called seat of the pants. Pilots got in here. They had no navigation. They used charts as best they could. They flew in the weather with airplanes that were not made for it. They truly are my heroes. You know, it is a part of history that I'm allowed to be part of. You know, we're allowed to keep these airplanes up, and when I step back into it and you hear the engine and you smell the fumes and everything coming off of it, it's exhilarating to be able to do that.
This is the magic. This is where we all began.
What's it like to fly with your son?
It's pretty amazing. I never envisioned that I would ever be flying with him.
Such an exhilarating thrill.
Isn't
Does
it though?
Feel like that for you every single time?
Yeah, every time we fly, it's a rush, and I have 25,000 hours of flying, and I never get tired of flying these aircraft.
These men spend much of their lives in the clouds, and as skytypers, they left us with a message during an air show the next day. Felicia Taylor, CNN, New York.
Felicia getting out of Wall Street on a rare occasion. Fantastic.